I'm an 18-year-old guy, and my parents always planned to live without kids, but they kept me despite not wanting children due to their faith. I don't recall exactly when they told me, but I grew up knowing I'd need to leave home the moment I turned 18. I started working and saving money at 13, building up a solid amount in my savings. To give credit to my parents, they supported me financially. They weren't warm or close emotionally, but they were never cruel. A week before my 18th birthday, they sat me down to ask if I'd secured a place to live. I told them I had, and that was the end of the discussion. I had arranged to share an apartment with 4 other guys, but a friend's family learned of my situation and offered their renovated basement with private access for just $150 a month, utilities included, no deposit needed. I accepted immediately, even though I suspected it was out of sympathy. I moved out the day after my birthday, and my parents haven't reached out since, though I haven't contacted them either. Yesterday, my dad called to invite me to dinner. It was already uncomfortable, but then they asked me to move back home, saying I wouldn't need to pay rent or anything. Here's the catch. I'm happy with my current setup. I didn't realize how much tension and unease filled my home until I left. When I politely declined, thanking them for the offer, my mom burst into tears and left the room. My dad got upset, lecturing me that their friends were shunning them over rumors that they kicked me out and another family had to step in. I pointed out that's exactly what happened, and it's not my responsibility to fix the fallout from their choices. Now my extended family keeps calling, saying I'm being foolish. Am I? Not foolish. They don't want you back for you. They want to salvage their image and social circle. Your parents were distant and uncaring, so don't return for their sake. I hope this other family embraces you as one of their own. I'm sorry. You deserve far better than how you've been treated. I suspect your mom's tears weren't from love or regret, but from embarrassment over her damaged reputation. You deserve so much more. I'd argue your parents mistreated you. Emotional distance is a form of neglect. You mentioned the other family took you in out of pity, but maybe it's more than that. Maybe they genuinely like you and want you around. Your parents only want you back to quash the accurate gossip and restore their standing. Once that's done, they'll likely push you out again. Why would you disrupt your life to fix their reputation when they never truly cared for you? Not foolish. I went through something similar as a teen. My brother and I were given a 6-hour notice to leave home, with a warning that anything left behind would be sold or discarded. Desperate, I posted on social media, explaining our urgent need for a truck and why. A cousin saw it, and it reached my grandmother. She called, furious, accusing me of ruining my father's image as a good parent. If he wanted that image, he shouldn't have made his kids, one with significant disabilities, homeless on a whim. You're dealing with the consequences of their actions. Don't go back. It's tough now, but you're starting a happier chapter. Stay resilient. I have a stepdaughter, Sarah, and we get along decently. Despite some teenage moodiness, we've mostly been fine, though she deeply resented my biological daughter, Emma. Sarah tends to fixate on her own emotions and struggles to see past her hurt feelings. She also deals with anxiety. About a decade ago, when they were in high school, Sarah destroyed Emma's prom dress because she was jealous of its quality. Her dad's family had wealth, and because my husband forced Sarah to attend prom, which I think was a mistake. I was livid, even wanting her out of the house briefly. After cooling off, I realized that was extreme, and though I held some resentment towards Sarah, we moved past it. Recently, Emma, who isn't invited to Sarah's wedding, jokingly suggested I ruin Sarah's wedding dress to get even. Emma and Sarah's fiancé had a major argument, and I didn't realize Sarah was upset, but now she's worried I'll act on Emma's joke. Emma's been vocal about wanting to sabotage the dress, saying I should do it for her. She doesn't know the wedding's date, venue, or Sarah's address. I told Emma I wouldn't do it. She sometimes has intrusive thoughts and can't be reasoned with right now. Sarah asked me not to attend the wedding. I believe you shouldn't invite only half a couple. I told my husband it's hurtful and I don't support him going without me. He asked me to let it go just this once. I told Sarah she's being disrespectful and my husband isn't defending our marriage. You're foolish. I wouldn't want you at my wedding either, and my anxiety is mild. I wouldn't trust you near it, given you seem to excuse Emma's desire to ruin things. Nope. I want to believe you're a good person, but I wouldn't risk it. If you're upset about missing the wedding, blame Emma. She got you excluded. If this strains your marriage, Emma's at fault, not Sarah. If Emma didn't want her stepmother at her wedding because her stepsister suggested sabotaging her dress, you'd back her. You're foolish. Emma wants to ruin Sarah's wedding. She admitted she's serious, and you're defending her. You shouldn't be trusted with wedding details. It's Sarah's dad, and you want him to miss her big day because you don't believe in splitting couples. This is Sarah's milestone, not yours. You want her to walk alone because you're upset about being left out. That doesn't seem right. What Sarah did in high school was wrong, but she was a teenager, and it was 10 years ago. Nothing suggests she's still that person, except her anxiety, which isn't a crime or her fault. You speak negatively about Sarah, but downplay that your adult daughter wants you to destroy a wedding dress over a decade-old grudge. Yet you don't say Emma's self-centered, like you describe Sarah. It's clear you still resent Sarah, despite claiming otherwise. My wife always wears makeup whenever she leaves the house. In our 3 years of marriage, I've never seen her step out without it. Even for a quick trip next door, she applies it. I've talked to her about this, finding it excessive, but she says she enjoys taking care of her appearance. It's frustrating when it delays our plans. Yesterday, she needed to go to the grocery store and asked me to drive her. She's been too anxious to drive since a minor car accident over a year ago, so I'm her chauffeur. I had a heavy workload that day and didn't want interruptions, so I said we had to leave immediately and be back within an hour. She agreed, but started applying makeup. I got annoyed knowing the store trip would take over 40 minutes plus a 5 to 10-minute drive. 5 minutes passed and she wasn't ready. She said she was almost done. I snapped, shouting that nobody cares about her appearance and she's wasting my time by fooling herself. She froze, then broke down crying. We didn't go to the store and she hasn't spoken to me since. I feel bad, but I also think she was being unreasonable and needed a reality check. Am I foolish? You're foolish. Imagine putting effort into something only to have your closest person say it's pointless. That's harsh. She should have respected your time, but you handled it terribly. She won't talk until you apologize. Disagree. Everyone's at fault. She needs to value others' time and you should appreciate her effort. Look at what sparked your outburst. You were mad after 5 minutes and she said she was nearly done. That's quick for makeup. My ex-wife would say almost done after 5 minutes, but that meant another 40 to 50 minutes of waiting. I'd set departure time 60 to 90 minutes early, and we'd still be late a third of the time. You're foolish. I don't know your wife's reasons, but I was bullied for acne as a kid and still rarely go out without makeup at 30 because of it. Your comment about nobody caring could feel like saying her efforts to feel confident are invisible. I know you didn't mean it that way, but that's how it might land. Everyone's at fault. You shouldn't have yelled, but your wife seems insecure and highly anxious. She can't drive after a minor accident a year ago. She might benefit from therapy, not because she's crazy, but to work through past trauma or bullying and learn to handle stress better. My boyfriend, 26, and I, 27, have been together for 2 years and moved in together 2 months ago. When we first discussed living together, I was in a tough spot, working only part-time. I offered to take on more housework since I'd be home more, as a way to balance his higher financial contribution. He insisted on splitting chores equally. I pushed back, preferring my idea. By the time we moved in, I'd landed 2 more jobs, working 35 to 45 hours weekly, one job with a fixed schedule, the others flexible. When we divided chores, I suggested a 50 to 50 split, with the person with more free time covering extra tasks. He agreed, but it only worked in theory. After moving in, he stopped making time for me after work and started putting in 50 to 60 hours weekly at his job, which he loves and pays well, over twice my income. He struggles to set boundaries, so his chores went undone, and he asked me to handle most of them since I worked fewer hours. But I'm always working fewer hours than him, and doing all the housework while working full-time is exhausting. I told him he needs to manage his time better or cut his hours, as I won't do all the chores. That sparked a fight. He argued he earns more and can't reduce his hours. His salary is for 40 hours, not 50 to 60. The extra time is unpaid. He said I have more free time. I'm in healthcare, he's in IT. He'll always earn more, but I still work full-time and need rest. I refused to do his chores, and he called me unreasonable, saying his income funds our lifestyle. We both contribute the same percentage of our income, but his is larger. In the moment, I felt he was unfair since he agreed to equal chores, and it's not my fault his field pays more. But now I wonder if I should do more since he works longer hours. Was I foolish for refusing? Not foolish. If you both agreed on fair contributions, the issue is how to handle his chores. If he's too busy, he can hire a cleaner. That's what people do when they work long hours but want free time. Agree. He should hire a maid instead of expecting you to do everything while working full-time. Why is he doing unpaid hours anyway? He's paid for 40. He's creating this problem. It sounds like more than just chores. You might need to discuss how you fit into his priorities. He's not considering your needs and puts his job first. You agreed that if one of you has more free time, they'd cover extra chores. Based on that, since you have more time, you should do his chores. He's also paying most of the bills with his higher income, which requires longer hours. You're foolish for expecting equal housework when the bills aren't split equally. But there's a solution. Hire help to avoid you doing everything. My son graduated in 2010, and my husband and I offered to fund his college. He declined, wanting to work instead, and asked for the college money in cash. We refused, saying we'd only pay for education. He relented, and we gave him my old sedan and $5,000 to start out. Our daughter graduated in 2013, accepted our college offer, and earned a math degree in 2017. We used the money set aside for our son to pay off our house. And since my husband and I have health issues that make us vulnerable, we retired early. Now our son wants to attend college and asked us to pay for it. We explained we're retired, with enough savings for ourselves but not for his tuition. He has $8,000 saved, enough for a semester, but he'd need to cover the rest. He claims we're favoring his sister since we paid about $50,000 for her education, and only gave him a car and $5,000, worth maybe $15,000 total. He's demanding we pay the difference or he'll exclude us from his wedding and future kids. I said threats won't bring back the money we offered years ago, but he insists it shouldn't have an expiration date, and he's entitled to what his sister got. Am I foolish for not paying after offering before? Not foolish. He graduated 12 years ago and now wants college. Did he think that money would wait forever? You're not foolish. He had his chance and didn't take it. He can't expect his retired, health-compromised parents to fund his education now. Not entirely true. You could have given him the college funds instead of a car and $5,000. You used the rest to pay off your house. You could take a reverse mortgage to fund his education and balance things with his sister. You're foolish. You saved for both kids but only gave it to the one who followed your path. No way, Op. Your son's an adult. If he doesn't respect your financial choices in retirement, let him go. He thinks you owe him and wants you to risk your stability to make things fair. He's shown his true colors. Don't reward this behavior. My parents are retired, and I'd never ask them to jeopardize their future. I just want them to be happy.